I was trying to begin. Damn it. There we go. Every time we shoot a video, there's an adjustment period. Because believe it or not, Bailey's much taller than me.
It's extraordinary how tall I am.
And so when we set up the camera, we have to do things to adjust for my lack of height.
Right.
And so...
and especially with fragile male ego, he has to look like he's a little taller than me.
Yeah, I feel like I have to, be just a little...
And I just hunch over.
So like it may seem occasionally like Bailey's a little shorter than I am. Or a lot shorter. It's just illusion.
Yeah. And that's true if you meet me in public, too. You might think I'm shorter than I actually am, but that is also just illusion.
It's all my ego.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's just a week before the Little Chicago Festival. Last time we talked about the bands. Friday night, Saturday night, the Nelson stage and the main stage. We went through all those bands. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch last week's episode to get caught up on where we're at this week.
Yeah, and there's some good picks for you to go see.
I can't claim that I am the all-knowing band guy, but I know what I like, and some of those bands are just so good that even I know who they are.
And just to Indie Ghost, go see them.
Jackdaw 7,
go see Sammy Gunn's band.
Sammy Guns, without a doubt.
Yep.
And I couldn't go. My dog was not well, but it almost got me out of the house. Willow Tree. It's been a couple weeks ago now. They had Sammy Guns, J.P. Parsons from Jackdaw 7, and Moose from Bristol. 3 of the best singer-songwriters that I know of in the area all played the same night. I think I've said before, I don't get out of the house to see bands like I used to. I'm more into performance now. It's a whole, I don't know. I grow old and I change. But that, I wanted to get out of the house so bad I couldn't do it. So lots of good stuff coming up at Little Chicago. We also have more festivals coming this month.
Yes, we do.
Not just Little Chicago.
No. The 25th and the 26th, I think those are the right dates. Meet the Mountains Festival is going on.
A sprawling festival.
Yeah, there will be there will be a festival, I think, at Founders Park.
Right.
Like with stuff going on there, ropes courses, yoga, outdoorsy things. But there are also events going on around the Tri-Cities, like mountain biking events, hiking events, maybe even kayaking. I mean, it's really, it is an outdoor festival.
And then, like they said on their website, let's see, I had it here, it's earth, air, water based events going on. We're not going to talk about that anymore today. Come back next week.
Yeah, but just to get it on your radar.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe I'll put in some inquiries and talk to some of the folks from that festival, since that seems to be a slightly different type of festival that we have with Little Chicago. Little Chicago is a community festival, whereas that is kind of more of a sponsored festival with a clear board that's running it.
Well, and it's also, I do think it's, I won't get into it, but I do think we do have a lot more outdoor stores here. We have Trek here now. We have, I think it's actually called there's forgive me. We have a lot of outdoor stores.
Yes, there's the one downtown that just moved over to.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of.
Outfitters.
Yeah, that sounds.
We're terrible locals.
But I think part of the point of this festival is to get people outside, to get people familiar with what is available in East Tennessee as far as outdoor sports go. which I think is really cool because I came from a hiking family.
Right on.
So I'm all for that. But
I think it's great that all those people go outside, so the rest of us that are inside will have a lot more space. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
But enough of that.
Let's get back to Little Chicago,
Which is
coming up
10th and 11th.
the 10th and 11th of August. It's going to start at 11 a.m. It ends at 9 p.m. Well, that's when these events begin and end.
Yes.
So
Not the music.
What we're going to be going over now are the performance activities, crafts that are going to be going on, and just like the bands, we're kind of going to go through them unless something catches our fancy, and we can talk about them in a little more detail.
Yeah. Although I don't know, there's so much going on. We might have to skip around.
Yeah, that's true. We're just going to hit the highlights.
We'll hit the highlights. So on
one petting zoo, the kids zone is a huge part.
It is a very big part of it.
And it's easy to go, oh, kids zone, meh. But no, Roan Street becomes the kids zone. It's like the middle ground between the main stage and the Nelson stage, and it's hilarious when you're on the stage. When my stage is starting on the main stage, you can see the whole street come down this way. And then when the band begins up there, you see
the migrating.
They go back. So it's like a bubble on a level, but they're always moving through the kids zone right there in the middle. It's all around that.
And petting zoos.
I love petting zoos.
Yeah.
This is when you get to
when can you pet a goat?
Yeah.
Not often. And I like goat petting.
When can you pet a goat and not have to worry about keeping that goat in its pen? That's the important thing.
Right.
I grew up on a farm.
Goats are troublesome.
Being able to pet someone else's goat is the best thing. And so this is all going to be part of the Family Zone activities. This is going on both days. Cow train rides.
You always see the cow train ride. Putting along around.
It's amazing because in the morning everybody's jumping out of the way of the train, but by the evening when everybody's had a few drinks, it's like the train's like ding ding hey, and people are being pushed out of the way.
It's like a weird wonderland.
It is. The kids are still having a good time dodging the drunks.
Right.
What else they got? Of course, face painting, balloon animals.
Misting tents. That's not really an exciting thing unless you love getting hot.
If it's a hot day,
cool down.
It's great to at least have that available to blow that little mist on your little fan.
Oh, this is more for adults. Well, let's see. Maybe there's more. The things for kids are. They sometimes have a putt-putt course. I don't see that on here, but they have it. They've had it every year, I think. So I'd be surprised if it weren't. Yeah.
The selfie booth is fun. You take your photos on the selfie booth, and it's going to go to the website, and you can find all kinds of fun photos there of people.
There's a children's craft tent, which, as a kid, I was definitely a little crafty.
I think those are great, especially for kids that get bored and tired after, you're dragging the kid to show after show. Give them something to do for just a little while. Get a breather, have some fun before you go again.
And just, those are ongoing family zones both days.
Right.
So I see.
What's a remote cruiser activity at the Johnson City Police Department? Is that like a remote control cruiser? Can I go on a high-speed chase?
I did wonder that myself because I was like, what that sounds like is, if you didn't know better, I'd think, oh yeah, we're gonna do some remote cruising. So don't get into anything.
To me, it sounds like pole position is what it sounds like to me. Activities around the festival. They have a poker run going on this week. Weekend.
I was just about to mention that one because that's at Newman's on Saturday. Let's see. It doesn't actually say it's at Newman's, but it says it's sponsored by Newman's. So I'm just gonna go and assume.
Yeah.
It's at Newman's. So if you like playing poker, go do that.
Or is that a bike poker run? So a lot of times the bikers come to town, they call it a poker run.
I don't know. Tarot card reading if you are worried about your future and you feel
worried
like
about your past.
Yeah, and you feel like you need some sort of insight.
Insight, reassurance.
Yeah.
For me, it's usually just like, man, you don't even want to know.
Then you just get your purse and walk away.
And I'm like, right? Give me my purse.
I'm sorry I outed you as a purse carrier.
Okay. It happens. Dance competition at the ETSU DJ stage.
Which is on Spring Street.
The DJ stage is back, which Okay, the last couple years, that was where they had the Little City Roller Girls
Oh yeah.
having the roller derby, but they're not having it this year.
Yeah.
That parking lot's not available for that. So I'm guessing that they've just put on the street the DJ stage, and
That's cool.
that was always hopping the last couple years. Gosh, it just keeps going, and then it breaks it down to Friday.
Oh, I know. It's kind of that's why I said there's so much.
I gotcha.
And I'll just say on Friday it looks like for kids. Well, Friday and Saturday. We'll just say this. There are a lot of things going on for kids, like children's stories, children's yoga, family stories, kinder music. It's going on. So if you've got a family and you want to get out, it's a good place to go. Oh, and they have Touch a Cruiser and Touch a Fire. What is it called?
Touch a fire truck.
Fire truck.
Touch truck.
He knows my brain today.
Show me on the cruiser where. Never mind.
So if your kid is super into, police and firefighters, as most of them are, they'll love that.
They could at least kick around the car a little bit. Check this out, 7 o'clock to 8 on Friday. This is your gig right here, ballroom dancing lessons.
Not lessons. Exhibition performance.
Oh, well, gotcha.
No, they sometimes do lessons.
It said lessons on Friday at 7. They're offering lessons.
And I'm on Saturday.
And then well, that's okay. It ties in. So Saturday, then they're having I saw that last year. They did that again last year, and that was one of my favorite.
They're cool. I used to go to John City Ballroom, and I hope to again. I'm just too busy.
Sure.
But they're good people. They're great dancers. They're cool. You should check them out. And if you want to learn to dance, go on Friday at 7 to 8.
I'd probably do that, but
Yeah.
Where do you use it once you learn it?
Oh, yeah, that is the problem. Because I will say, there's nowhere here to ballroom dance, and I get frustrated.
Yeah, and I can't be strictly ballroom, Bailey.
You can't?
No, I have to freestyle. I got to be me. See? I'm always going to be a pariah.
For some reason, when you said freestyle, I was just thinking freestyle funk.
Yeah, whatever it takes, I'll freestyle that too.
There was a British sketch comedy show a few years ago that did a scene from Pride and Prejudice.
Oh.
My brain, but they changed it to.
I'm glad it's your brain not working today, and
it really is
not mine. Mine is usually mine.
And I swear I've had no alcohol.
That's okay.
It's hot and my hormones are off.
Mine, I'm hot. I'm just hot. Now this? So this is Saturday night, 4 o'clock. Some people I was at a bar, and I met mutual friends of this guy, Jason Knight, who is a master forger. He makes knives and swords and cutlery, anything. He forges them himself. He was on the History Channel's show Forged in Fire, where they actually made weapons and had to do things with them. He's going to be there doing forging demonstrations, selling some of his stuff. I've seen some of his knives, and they're amazing what he makes out of just raw steel. It's beautiful stuff.
I just want to watch.
Yeah.
Like, that seems super cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to be real good. That's 4 o'clock.
Because I think I remember that show. Or there was a show that they were trying to recreate a Viking sword.
Yeah.
And that wasn't him, but just watching it, the process is mesmerizing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going in order, but Pictures with a Princess, Elsa the Frozen Princess, which is free at 4 p.m.
And it's going to be rough for me having to go from the stage to put on the Elsa costume to get over there for that.
It's going to be hard, but it's worth it. He looks good in the wig. But, any little girl or little boy who's obsessed with Frozen, it's a good one.
Last year, it was a different princess was there. But there was a little boy that was absolutely obsessed with the princess, and I thought that was the cutest thing. He was all into it. She was like, "Do you want to be a prince?" He goes, "Nope, I want to be a princess."
Oh, I love it.
Way to go!
You do you, dude.
Right. Here's a big one. There's one that interests me, and then there's one that I think is important for local culture.
All right.
The ghost stories both nights.
I am very interested in that.
We're both kind of into spooky stuff, Halloweeny stuff.
Maybe we'll check that out together.
Absolutely, I'm all in. In fact, it just hit me. It was at Little Chicago on Saturday night last year that we went to Sabores for the first time.
Yes, that's right. And that was their soft open.
That's right. They hadn't opened yet. I forgot about that until I just saw that. And so the Johnson City Ghost Story Tours would be very interesting.
And like you said, that's Friday and Saturday at 10.
And that's worth it, especially if they'll let me carry a camera.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I would like you get a camera, I get a camera, and we can put it all together.
Yeah. Who gets to wear the?
You obviously get the camera strapped to your head.
But I love the idea. I love the idea that I'm so tall.
You're so tall. All we'll see is
you won't see anything.
Yeah. Well, if I wore it, all you're going to see are people's butts.
That's true. It's adorable.
I'm really only 4 feet tall.
It's cameras are amazing.
Yeah, it's all. I'm a video guy.
Well, that's actually what's funny is that I think we've talked about this before, but I think it was Conan who was talking one day with one of his guests, and he was like, "What people don't know is that all the men in Hollywood are really short. it's just camera.
Right. It's all movie magic.
That's right."
And then the body painting show. We got to talk about this.
We do.
Johnson City Body Painting. Oh gosh, coalition. The local body painters come together. They did this. It's been several years ago.
They did it at Nelson's, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sam Mays was still alive, and Sam painted someone in Ren, and I knew a couple. I think Laura painted somebody, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the painting part, but I was there for the unveilings.
Yeah.
And that was when, to me, body painting was new, and and now. Body painting, you see it regularly, not only in cosplay, but
just everywhere.
But here, it seems like we got a hold of it a little bit earlier.
Yes,
let's be honest, thanks to Ren, who's been body painting since I've known her.
Yeah,
which is a long while now.
When I met her, or even before I met her, but I had mutual friends with her. That was the first time I'd ever heard of body painting.
Right,
and I was like, all right.
And she and I had talked about it way back then. I was fascinated with it, and now. They're bringing it back finally, and this is going to be the first time we've had the local body painters group come together all at once. It's going to be a big show. I'm hoping they're going to need an MC for this, but just because I'm going to be there anyhow and I want to see it. But that's not to be missed. That's going to be Saturday night, 8 o'clock. They don't have the location.
They do for some of these, but
not
8
for
to 8:30.
But check it out on the internet. I'll try to link it on the hometown page.
Actually, I just saw something else. There's so much going on.
Oh yeah, what
else? Southern Fire Cloggers.
Interesting.
Let's see. And clogging, if you are from here, you probably know that clogging is a very Appalachian Southern. I hesitate to call it a dance.
No, it's
but
definitely
it is a dance.
It's
it seems like so much more though, because it's like
flat footing is a dance.
That's
then
true.
Clogging has to be.
Clogging is a dance. It is, and I will say this: I was never a clogger, but it's cool to watch.
1980, clogger. In 4th grade, our physical activity at Jonesboro Elementary School was clogging.
I demonstrated clogging when I went to Germany. I met some people, and I demonstrated to them clogging, and because we were talking about our different. They weren't German; they were Egyptian. We were talking about our different cultures and whatever, and I demonstrated it, and one of them went, "Are you doing it right?" And I was like, "Yeah,
but
mostly."
It's like almost any other regional folk dance. Is you have to feel. There's more than just getting the steps right.
Right.
Have you ever been to the Carter Fold? Hilton's, Virginia.
I don't remember.
Hilton's, Virginia. To me, it's one of the happiest, most beautiful places on earth. I haven't been there in decades now, but when I went, June was still alive, and local bands playing old-time country and big bands and nationally known performers all mixed up on the stage, along with barnyard impressions and stuff like that. But whenever a band really started getting that mountain hoedown feeling, that really blistering bluegrass, these old-timers, we're talking 70s and 80-year-olds in their finery, they jumped down there on the floor. They got their clog and tap shoes on, and these people are feeling it.
Yeah.
You get no finer presentation of clogging than somebody who's just done it for their family. They don't do it for a show.
Yeah.
This is how they've always danced.
Well, and even you can see not clogging, but you can see clogged like dancing at local places like Sunny's Marina. If there's a band playing and you're there on a Friday, Saturday night, you'll see people flat footing or clogging or doing that sort of like what?
You know what I need to do?
What?
Next time I do a secret society show,
You need it.
metal cloggers.
Yes!
Just some like Gene Simmons looking boots with clogging taps on them.
Yes. Yes.
I want to bring clogging into the 21st century.
You know what? I think, with Nordic, the Nordic metal brings a lot of weird
Absolutely.
shit to the game. Let's bring some Appalachian shit to the game.
I love it. And we're going to have to call Paul for this one. I can already tell.
Do it. We call Paul.
Paul Ravenwood. Yeah. Actually, I talked to our friend Paul. He has he's just released in the last couple of weeks a new Twilight Fauna.
Yes.
Well, might as well plug him while I'm talking about it. He released a new Twilight Fauna. I mentioned that on Hometown, but he and a bunch of his friends have come together, and in 2015 they recorded this album, and they're releasing it next week. And it's Appalachian folk doom metal.
And so this one different than
this
the
one's
atmospheric?
Different. This is him and 3 other people from up north, actually, and I really look forward to it. Paul wants us to come by his house sometime and talk to him in his music room, and we'll have to do that because not only that, he makes some pretty good food.
Oh, I am always open to free good food.
That's right. So those were the biggies of Little Chicago.
Yeah, and really what you should take away from this episode at least is there is a lot of stuff going on and there's a lot of stuff for everybody. So it's just a great festival.
If you want my advice on how to experience Little Chicago, and it's different from almost any other festival, and this is I'm talking to the locals mainly right now. It'll be easier for the locals, but if you're not from around here, you can do it too. You go downtown, you find the band you want, you watch the band. When the band ends, walk around, look at the stuff, and you're going to run into all these people you know there because this is the community festival.
Yeah.
These are your neighbors that are hanging out just like you are. Stop and talk to them. Don't just nod. This is
Walk
it.
away.
This is a festival to build that community. That's what we're here about. So talk to them. Have a good time with your neighbors. That's how you enjoy this festival.
That is exactly. And you know what? A great way to do that too is to stop at any of our wonderful local breweries.
Absolutely.
Because those are going to be hopping.
There was a day when there were no breweries in town.
That's true. And now we've got 2 more coming.
I know. It's kind of awesome, but I now find myself alighting in the same one all the time.
Yeah. I also am getting nervous where the saturation point is.
Yeah,
we are a college town though, so maybe there won't be a saturation point.
I hope so. If those college students will start leaving campus and actually getting into the town.
It's true. Last year I think Johnson City Brewing had a mead that was really good.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. This year they've got a couple new. I can't remember which ones they are right now, but they've got a couple. Corruption is back. They had that last year.
Corruption is my absolute favorite.
That's what I was trying to remember. Corruption,
So
and they have
good.
another one that was only out for Little Chicago last year. It was another good one, and I cannot wrap my brain on what it is, but they're getting ready to have. They'll have the unveiling of that. I think maybe tonight actually.
Ooh.
It's a Thursday the 2nd right now when we're recording this, but. I think it might be unveiled tonight. I just can't remember. Heavens forbid we do any homework whatsoever before we do this show.
You know what? Some of the best podcasts I listen to don't do any homework.
Right.
So.
But and then of course Yeehaw's doing what Yeehaw always does. I got to give it to them. They make solid, well-made beers.
Yeah.
All of them may not be to my personal taste.
Yeah.
There is not a thing wrong with the beers.
They have a really good Berliner Weisse, which is
That is good.
blackberry. Is it blackberry?
It's blackberry.
Sour?
It's got that sourness to it.
It's a sour, but it's not insanely sour. Like you're not going to pucker.
It's just a little. I call it a little bitter. It's like the bitterness of the seeds. The
Really
blackberry
good.
seeds come through on it a little bit.
That's my favorite there.
I like the Maibach but the Velvet Charmer.
Maibach is good. Velvet Charmer is good. It's dangerous.
It is
because it is a high gravity.
It's a half pour.
Yeah.
It's a stout. It's a good one.
Actually, what's funny is I had a house sitter once, and I had gotten a big thing of Velvet Charmer from a friend of mine. So I just said, I was like, my house watcher, I was like, you can drink any of it, this is all for you. And he was like, when I got back, he was like, man, I was drinking these and I realized I was getting really drunk. and I was like, yeah, they're high gravity. And he was like, yeah, I finally figured that out. I was like, sorry I didn't warn you.
Yeah, and wherever you go downtown, tell them that Hometown sent you.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, say, hey, I heard about you guys, or we heard about the festival through Hometown. Get the word out. The more people that hear about us, the easier it is for us to find people to give you interviews. So,
yes. And we are working on getting some interviews. We're just
it takes a lot of work to get an interview, it turns out.
Yes.
I personally think all of them have been worth the wait, but we'll take time and do it right.
Yeah. Ow.
Okay?
Yeah, I have poison ivy and I accidentally hit it.
Oh, I got some stuff to help you downstairs. Let's go get some of that.
It's mostly okay. It's just when I touch it.
It'll look okay, and then it's going to explode. I'm warning you. It sucks. Well, let's get her some medical attention. Until next time, this is Hometown East Tennessee. Thank you. Have a good time at the festival.
Yes.
And let us know what you see. Share some photos with us on
please.
Facebook. Keep in touch. We want to hear from you. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/hometown. You can just drop as little as $1 per episode. Every time we release an episode, it'll take that $1 and process them all at the end of the month.
And you can put a max on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you can say, hey, $5 an episode and put a max of $3. We'll think that kind of makes you a jerk.
Yeah.
But
if that's all you can afford.
But if that's what you need to do,
yeah.
We understand.
Yeah.
We appreciate the support regardless of how you want to give it to us. Leave us comments, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Just let us know you're out there, and we'll keep bringing you more Hometown. See you next week.
Bye.